Okay,
Oh, my God.
right? I don't know how you missed that all those other times.
There it is.
Yeah, okay, great. So 7:05, meeting's order. Has everyone had a chance to
Oh,
review
my God, I
minutes?
got 3 of them.
Yes.
Good job, minutes.
Thank you. Sorry I didn't get them out to everybody sooner. I don't know what happened to the month. I lost it all of a sudden. I was, what, there's no way.
Yeah, no, the days and weeks seem to be just flying by.
They
at this
really
point.
do.
I mean, Thanksgiving in 2 weeks, really?
Oh, my God.
I know, it freaked me out. I just can't.
And
Okay.
all these store has Christmas.
I
decorations.
know.
Well, we're limping into Christmas.
Someone. I mean, right, the
The
frost just killed my begonias last week. Like,
Yeah,
The
no,
best
we
summer
didn't-
days were in October this year.
I know, right? I think that's
yeah,
what it
no,
was.
we didn't have any frost at all until, I mean, yeah.
My garden was blooming. I think
Yeah.
it was, yeah, so it doesn't feel, like maybe that's what it was. Anyway, do we have a motion to approve the minutes?
I move that we,
Alright, look, you guys are good at this. Any comments or corrections?
Because I wasn't here, it was really great to read about Jack Rosenberg's input on the cultural district.
Yeah.
Is there anything that, is there any plans maybe, because after December 16th, I have some input.
Well, that's on the
great.
agenda, so
Okay.
we'll talk about it then, because, yeah. So all, just to review minutes.
Oh, putting the minutes, yeah.
Yeah, all in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
Okay.
Just the one comment which I'm curious about is, I think we sold 13 photographs. So I'm just curious about like
Oh,
all
yeah.
our costs that, you know, at some point, I mean, we
Did
did
ask
this
me that
outside of this
question.
meeting, but I think that that's just good
Yep,
data.
I
for us.
should do some accounting, and truthfully, it is
So
not all
$650 are windfall.
it's not all closed out. A woman has been emailing me saying she's gonna stop in, she wrote a check to purchase 2 because she wanted 1 if it didn't sell, but it did sell, so she's not, so there's just all this.
Do we
little-
still have 2 sitting?
I was gonna, and summer,
I
I'm
mean, I
using the
know-
free stick for people to pick up on
Yeah,
weekends.
no, I mean, I just, I remember seeing some a couple of
I
days
stopped in to tell
ago.
you, I forgot to email you.
And then I thought, I'm thinking, were they there today? But I really never noticed,
I'll
because they
stop
could very
in.
well.
I'll stop in just to see and then email those people. So I'm still distributing the rest, like the last few, the ones that sold,
Okay,
paid the 2 that sold where the artist wanted a commission. Just did that. So it isn't settled out yet.
complicated.
Yeah, and I just got the invoice from the market, it finally, they just bill monthly, and so it just went to the billing office, and they're like, I think this was for you. So, I don't, we'll get the final accounting next month.
And the pantry got their bill to you.
They did,
Good.
that check probably went out, so I do have. I can put it in a spreadsheet too, a very unofficial, this is the budget, so, cause I needed to know the account numbers when I turn it into the office. And then these are the expenses so far that I've written up. So I'll put together a spreadsheet. And I saved the invoices so that we know. Oh, and I spoke with, so and our account, the Arts Council account has not been set up yet. Because we have an election on Tuesday and we were electing a new treasurer and they would have to re-sign all the papers. So she's like, why don't you just wait? And then we'll go open it with the new treasurer so that it'll be for signatures. Is it-
Do we know who the new treasurer is?
Yes. Is it Ashley Judson? I'm forgetting her name.
Okay.
I can look it up when, if you guys are talking amongst yourselves, but yes, so, yeah, so next month, I'll have the account on that for you. Note to self. All right.
And town treasurer you're asking about, it's Ashley Judson.
Judson, okay, yeah, I did have it right, actually Judson. And I don't actually know when they start. I don't know if all of the positions are the same, if it's immediate or if it's,
January 5th or something.
yeah, I'm not sure. I think it's immediate.
I think it's immediate.
I think it's
don't
immediate.
it makes sense. Yeah, I don't think it waits until the meeting.
So, there are, so, Victor, you had some things that you wanted to talk about. Besides the two that were just on here, we've got sharing of events too. Do you want to? I'll let you decide, like what order, what do you want to tackle first?
I mean, the cultural district work, I just really want a buddy on this. Somebody's really having accountability with somebody else, but when it's just on my own time, I'm not doing it. And we talked about it and you've been busy, I've been
I
busy.
did,
You did some
I
work,
did
didn't you?
it.
Without even telling me.
I know, I just was like, well, cause I had, the last time I brought in, I have a folder, right? And so I like map quested it and I was trying to figure out how to get all the numbers on like a Google map, which is what Ridgefield did,
Mhm.
right? So this was their Ridgefield's application, which I actually printed their entire application so we can look at it. And it was just, you can't really see, it just didn't seem useful to me. So what I did is I grabbed, and I printed a couple so you guys can, I didn't know. I'm gonna- I took the maps that the EDC had done for the guidebook.
Yep.
So I didn't take the full town map.
Mhm.
I took the blow ups of the depot and the green
Mhm.
and put them on here
Mhm.
and then just started plopping some stuff. It's not complete. I need to put a scale on there. I think there are some other requirements. A little note about like the walking, the distance between these two.
Sure.
But I thought that this would be this was a more useful
That was clever.
representation of those two areas.
Mhm.
But I didn't finish it and I wanted feedback and to see if I should finish it or.
I think it's a great instinct. And we can like, looks really nice, and if we decide it doesn't meet our aesthetic standards, we can hire a graphic designer to do it once we finalize all the information, but it's premature to bring in a graphic designer, I feel right now.
I think it looks great.
Yeah, I think it looks.
Yes,
I have a question, and maybe Simon can illuminate more on this. I think the town owns the little hill, the park behind Titus, that we have a sculpture there, Simon, is that still there?
it is.
The
I can
what?
tell you about it,
Yeah.
but it's not, it is town land and it's not intended to be left there, but
Okay, so
until the community center is.
my
built.
suggestion, if we could have sculptures,
If we could have
artists who have sculptures
yes,
that at the time that we have walking around the district, that can be included too. As a part of the art, because it's part of the district, of the
yeah,
depot.
I think that they just put, I have Eckert Fine Arts up here, but I think there are, like, I know there's a sculpture out in front of the market.
Next to 5 James.
Yeah, next to 5G,
Yeah.
yeah, so that's,
Sculptures is great, and then
Yeah.
also, I mean, George sells art as well. George.
home,
Yeah, and I mean, even 5 Jane sells art, and I mean. You could argue about how fine the art is, but she does sell artworks.
There's a new one as well.
Yours,
The
No.
sunshine.
No, the next door to, on the
Jane.
same,
Jane Eckert.
Eckert.
that one I have on
That's
here.
on-
Eckert
Oh, it's
Fine
on here,
Arts.
I'm so sorry. I see.
Oh, you can
Like over
see-
here.
No, it's here. This is Titus. This is Titus. It's actually this building, but
Okay.
that building, because Kmart's, oh, no,
Where's number
no,
eight?
it's not.
It's here.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's not on there though.
This is the gas.
So that's
station.
the-
It's a
She
little
stopped
bit
it.
off. It's a little bit.
She hasn't gotten the last 3
I
yet.
see.
It's just expensive, going back to the designers who did this.
And tell me again, just remind me, we are unable to include the green?
Well,
Are we gonna attempt to include the
we
green?
were gonna attempt to include it
Okay.
based on what Jack said and my reading. I don't think they're gonna let us keep it in. I don't think they're gonna deem it walkable. And he said that, and and it's in the statute, it must be walkable. So I think that our intention was to try, and if they say no, then we'll just go for the depot, make sure that. We
It's
need,
just ironic and infuriating because as much as there are wonderful things in the depot, like the green is where the historic seat of the arts is in this town.
And how about people who cannot walk or who can too old to walk? People who are in a wheelchair.
Well, but we're dealing with state statutes and requirements in terms of what's permitted.
Well, no, it's just one thing that's worth noting is that while it's all pedestrian and in other maps I've looked at in cultural districts, and I guess that's the real thing, is it safe for pedestrians? Is the big thing, because like they extend miles.
Right.
It just has to be walkable, and
I don't think miles,
I looked at one of them and it was.
was like, this one's a mile and a couple blocks, Ridgefield.
There's some density, but it doesn't
Yeah,
matter. I mean, of course,
yeah.
we're gonna follow the rules, and there's nothing stopping us too, like
No,
we
we
have
can try anything
having
we want.
appendices too.
Yeah.
So like, really, our document is for us, and it's worth it for us to make it as beautiful as, or as complete as we want. We can say in the other 5 towns of Washington, there are these things. Which is good for everybody, because one thing that's really nice, and I can't remember who's been at what meeting, but it's for those who have not heard. We've basically been told we're gonna get approved, we just have to go through the steps and have all the things, all the elements completed. But what's cool is that then you have this opportunity to have a document that's downloadable from our town website, like, become something that is really a nice, I don't know, guide, tour, whatever we wanna design it as, so.
So what help are you looking for?
Really just sitting down and like having like an accountability partner. It's like collecting the stuff,
Well,
writing up these things. It's just, 2-hour blocks of working together or an hour or whatever. It sounds childish to even ask for it, but I'm
I
just
can
trying.
help you
I
with
know,
that.
I was gonna
Okay.
say, I'm the same, like, I intended to do
Like
way
we get
more
so
than
much done when
this.
we do meetings together, and
Sure.
then even if we're both quietly working, it's getting done. So,
I can help you if it's during the day
yeah,
rather than in
absolutely.
the evenings.
Yeah, no, that's great. That would be wonderful, Simon,
Right.
perfect.
Sure.
So able to hold, but
After the 15th.
pretty much after Christmas.
Well, maybe Simon will fit in a few lunch hours or something, whatever. works
Sure.
with His schedule, and then maybe we'll bring it over the finish line by the end of this calendar year together.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, the last 2 weeks, so I like it, and also Karen, I really haven't been bugging her, so. Yes, thank you all for buddying up, that's great.
Sure.
No, and include the,
Yeah,
absolutely, I need that, I don't know if the month got away from me, but I'm happy to work on it.
thanks.
Yeah. Another thing that, we had, but so I think when it comes time to putting it together, Jack. If we need like a letter of support, or we should definitely include, he's very in support of it. He lives in town and he is the chair of the state art council. So having a letter of support, or make sure we invite him to the hearing or whatever it is, and he seems he said, use me as a resource, so that we should definitely do. We also talked about the fact that we had one member resign. And so we were thinking about, do we add another member to the council? And I got here the requirements for so it says cultural district commission, but our commission, the arts council will be overseeing the cultural district. And so we have to have the members out, they're just these categories, so just to help us think about like the boxes we check and maybe the ones that we don't. So it says members should include at least one representative from 6 of the following categories. So local cultural council or arts council, but everybody's a member. Cultural organizations, historical society, museum, ethnic. Heritage organization, at least one artist that lives and or works in the district. Organizations that represent artists. For-profit creative business at gallery theater. Local businesses and or chamber of commerce. See, that's six, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So somebody from all six.
So we
Is
need
really
at
what
least
that
one from all 6. Wait, so we have may elect to include additional, okay, so we need at least those 6 covered. So,
So do they have to live in Washington?
no.
Some of them can be working in
Working in
Washington.
Washington or for an organization that's in Washington, like some,
Some
you Fran too, like
yeah.
Fran, I feel like you cover the for-profit creative business gallery theater bookstore, right, in my mind. What I was thinking though is that cultural organization, historical society, museum.
I'm a
such-
cultural organization.
Yeah.
Flawless is
Yeah.
cultural?
Usually, I mean, that's our, funding wise, I would say, we certainly receive credit in that manner. Terminology can be picky though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was thinking, gosh.
You were
know,
thinking the IAS.
I was, or the
Somebody,
music,
right.
or the gun
Or the gun,
museum, or
yeah.
the library,
Yeah.
or, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
You know, like if we're looking for a member.
yeah.
That was what I was. But. If you think the dance.
My guess
checks
would be
that
that I
box.
check a box.
Okay,
don't
oh, I,
know that
I, well, I was
Okay.
thinking
That's
that you
fine.
were an organization that represents artists.
I don't know. It is also true, I think
Yeah.
Simon's work.
We do as well,
yeah.
More directly, I employ artists. Is that the same as representing them? Yeah.
Can you read the one
Depends on
about,
day and how my employees-
can you read the one about ethnic?
So-
What was the ethnic,
That was
comment?
the cultural organization,
Cultural
and in
organization.
parentheses, it says historical society, museum, ethnic heritage organization.
I see, okay.
So that's where
And
the
sometimes
Indian
cultural
Institute.
society.
It looks as though they're looking for a museum or something of history, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really what
Yeah.
it seems
The
like.
Institute would be.
Yeah,
I think
Very
they would be
interesting.
And
great.
someone who was,
If Chris or,
That would be good.
Yeah, so I think they would be a wonderful addition and
Yeah.
would really round out, even though they are not technically in the cultural district. The idea.
it doesn't say that everyone has to be. in the
No, they have to,
cultural
and they're
district.
in Washington. I feel like what Jack was really kind of driving home is that once we have this established, we can then apply for grants that could include, I think having the designation
Open source.
opens the door.
Yeah.
To do things even for the arts organizations
opens
that
up
are.
all the state money as well as.
Michelle, can I ask, the last
Yeah.
one was, the Chamber of Commerce, I think.
It said local business and or chamber of commerce, which Fran also
Yes, and
covers
or,
that
good.
with the business. We don't have a chamber, we have the business association, which the EDC is a member of, so I could, I'm technically a member of the arts
I
council.
mean, from an arts council point of view, would it be worth having somebody on the council who is much more in the sort of Chamber of Commerce realm as opposed to the
Well,
arts?
I
You
was
are?
just gonna say,
It's like
Fran's
full-
advice-
Are you on the board?
Like,
I see.
Yes.
Yeah, so Fran's checking a lot of
Great.
boxes for us.
Sure, that's
Well
great.
done. So I feel like that would, the cultural one is maybe a place where we would be weaker, I don't know.
Where does
strength.
Robin interest to approach?
Sorry, who?
Robin Pastor.
Robin Gray. She's also on the EDC, a cultural organization, a church.
How does the music on the green get categorized? She's a producer of that?
Or a sponsor?
But I don't
Maybe.
think it has, it's not a foreign entity. Okay. I think
Yeah,
it's a named hobby
Named.
series in like a
Exactly.
legal sense. I don't know that it would qualify.
I wouldn't even say legal.
Yeah, there's no legality maybe.
Well, what about an ASAP?
It's a question of where you feel like if it's really an arts organization, does that make it a cultural organization or not?
Okay,
And some
all right, good point.
some people don't necessarily, I mean. don't necessarily feel that way, but if the qualifications are all around it being an arts district, right? What's the term of,
It's a cultural district.
it's a cultural
So
district?
I just feel like
Connecticut
It's
Theater.
one of those things where you separate, you say arts and culture as though arts is not culture, but you know.
right,
it's-
no, it's, right, it's not, I mean, it is.
It is, and it's not a good separation.
So it's a
But it
cultural
does.
district. I guess they're just trying to make sure, we wanna be as diverse as possible.
Yeah.
And so,
I think it serves us to have somebody far along. I mean, the other clause I know is that, Joanne has been very forthcoming and saying that she wants to find a successor, and I mean, I feel like somebody's gonna be in the,
Or she's all in that.
she's
On
not,
that.
oh, no, okay.
But I don't know if I mean, Ally might do it, but.
Well,
Oh,
my point
but
is
do you
that, so
think
I think
that-
it'd be great to invite somebody to be on our
Yeah.
council who wants to be, carrying through for, a year plus, I would think. So, but,
So what's wrong with the Indian?
yeah, I think.
Yeah, I think that's,
I think that would be
I
great.
mean, that feels like the
I think it's
That's
I do
perfect.
too.
best pursuit. So
I
like
do.
And
very
or
clear
the
cut.
museum,
Yeah.
And
they
it's-
say museum.
Yeah, it's
Say
very,
it.
I mean, they say
Very
historical
in-
society museum.
Yeah.
Ethnic
very
heritage,
inclusive.
yeah,
It's something different that is very au courant right now.
Both of those would be good. I mean,
Yeah.
I think what ASAP's mission does is perfect for us as well as theirs. So why don't we start with the Indian archaeology? I don't just want to.
It is now the Institute of American Indian Studies, and it is hard to say the acronym, which is IAS. And my children say it very.
say it again.
IAIS, Institute of American Indian Studies.
Mm.
IAIS. They changed it though,
They changed it, it was the Indian Archaeological Institute or something like that before.
30, 50 years.
Yeah, for very.
Okay,
IAIS.
I'm old school. But anyway, I
But Chris
was
Jones still had
But
it,
Chris
right?
Gibbs still have
Yeah.
it, and I think it's worth.
We'll reach out. And if they don't have somebody who's willing, then I would say the next step would be to try the museum. There are a couple of people.
I know less, I was gonna say, I know less of the people.
Yeah, so Amy,
Well, then,
she's lovely, the new curator.
that might be great for her.
She's fantastic, like, she's just super energized.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a collections assistant up there as well, like, there's just a. So. We, start with Chris and we.
Okay.
All right, cool, so. That would round us out, I think, very, very nicely.
Who is the director of the museum,
Chris
of the
Combs,
institute, the Indian?
Chris
Chris
Combs,
Chris,
Chris Combs, Jay
do I
Combs,
know him?
Jay, who was at Washington Supply, his brother.
Oh, wow,
Yeah.
you're kidding me,
No,
that's
not at
cute.
all.
Yeah.
I love Jay, I miss him.
Everybody loved you.
Everybody loves Jay.
Oh, that's good, that's
Yeah.
good, yeah, I like
I
that.
know, we all miss Jay. So, good, so
Do you-
we'll,
I can reach out to Chris.
sure, if you want to, I mean, I'm happy to, but if you want to, perfect. Yeah, and so I think the idea here is that he would join the council,
Yeah.
which then we're gonna use to check the box for that. Cool,
Sounds great.
yeah,
Okay.
so I'm.
Sorry to ask this of you, Michelle, but are we able to just invite people to join the council at this point? Because before there was a process, wasn't it? When we all joined the council, we had to submit a bio and all of that.
So that would also happen, like, they would have to write a letter of interest to the selectmen and then get officially appointed by
Got
the
it.
selectmen.
All right.
Yeah, but, yeah, and they have the right to not
Of course.
approve somebody,
Sure.
which rarely, like, it's almost never happened, right? If somebody's willing to serve.
Sounds like.
Yeah, let's do it, right?
Right,
So
thank you.
I'm
I just
gonna
wanted to
be,
check.
like, conflict of interest
Yeah.
or, somebody, that, like, there's some sort of history there. So that
Mhm.
would,
Or like if you own 50 million to the town,
maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe that, I don't
That
know.
and-
Yeah, right, right, so they're very, yes. So that would be the process. All right, let's go back to the agenda. I don't have anything else. I started looking at the notes that from when we met with staff, when we had to send the letter of intent, and then I was looking for the samples she sent us and I couldn't find them, but I'll look back.
Okay.
That like starts the process,
Okay.
but we can kind of follow the Ridgefield.
So,
Just a thought on him, I mean, in terms of how he might help. When we do have the public hearing, do you think it would make sense for him to talk about what the cultural district is, both at the local level and the state level?
Jack?
Jack,
Chris?
you're
Oh. Yeah, if he would,
I mean, I'm just thinking that that would really give some
it would definitely,
gravitas to the whole
exactly,
thing.
lend some credence, yeah, to why it's important.
and all the meetings are hybrid, right? So if he couldn't be here that day, we could
Yeah.
type it.
Mhm.
And he's very forceful, so
You convince
it will
everybody.
be, it will be a good witness.
Okay, good. Good.
Awesome. So Holiday Inn Depot, how are we gonna participate?
So here, I met with Jen Cody, who's the director of Parks and Rec today. To talk about like they're just starting to get the planning going. I
Yeah, we
think.
had a meeting this morning,
Oh, you did?
yeah.
Okay, good. I've talked to her about the photo booth idea, which she said she thought was awesome, but ASAP does that. And I was like, ugh. I said, let us know if they don't do that. Then, the other thing that she confirmed is that everything is outside. Santa's outside, everything's outside. If weather is horrible, backup is Santa would come inside, but nothing else, like nobody's getting to set up inside. So, so then I talked about, well, how the Arts Council talked about sponsoring a performer of some sort, which she thought was also a great idea. And, we're gonna, I guess you guys have to kind of check in to see with Erickson whether they were gonna sponsor the sort of juggler.
No, I don't think so. I
You
mean,
don't
they did for, Community Day and paid them, but
And
it
it got
didn't happen.
canceled, yeah. So, so I had another idea that I wanted to run by you guys. No,
I totally forgot that I never.
It's really too hard to reschedule.
No, yeah, no,
I
in
mean,
that
you know,
moment, I
and
remember
we
thinking,
talked,
there's
we
no
talked about
way.
it subsequently. You know, could you have a rain date?
Yeah,
And you really can't, I mean, because the band
It's
isn't going to
completely
buy
different.
into a rain date.
yeah,
So no, it's either happens or it doesn't
Yeah.
happen.
But it seems so sad that like, it's never as cool as being outside, but that we can't use the town hall for as a rain location.
Well, this is, I mean, this is the sponsorship of, under the sponsorship of the WBA.
yeah.
And Parks and Rec, so,
The pavilion or something, I mean, I'm just saying in the future, could that be something that could be arranged? I'm not casting criticism on how I handled this year.
I don't know how, I mean, you wouldn't have the band.
well, you could probably move it
At the
inside, I think
pavilion.
trying to think of ways to weatherproof it or almost weatherproof it, to move it inside, whether, I mean, the businesses that set up their stuff outside would have to then set up inside.
So you would know a day in advance if it's going to be a storm or something like that. So
What you don't know is
We
what
had an hour,
happened,
yeah.
what happened this year was that, rain
an
was
hour before.
predicted.
Yeah.
And, it rained and it looked, well, you know, just a little bit of rain. But then 2 hours later, there was a downpour,
torrential.
so.
Canceling was the right thing to do, we almost canceled a year or two